While preparing for their invasion of the Republic and Sith Empire, Valkorion's twin sons, Thexan and Arcann, offered to embark on a campaign to test the strength of their enemies. The Emperor agreed, but insisted Thexan should command their armies on his own, while ordering Arcann to stay behind. Disobeying his father, Arcann joined his brother, and together they attacked a number of enemy worlds, including the Jedi and Sith homeworlds of Tython and Korriban, winning many great victories. Yet while fighting on Korriban, Arcann was severely wounded, losing an eye and arm, for which the Emperor had no sympathy, claiming it was the price he paid for defying orders. Successful in their campaign, the twins returned to their father, presenting the lightsabers and banners of their fallen foes, but Valkorion was unmoved and turned his back, dismissing their accomplishment. Enraged by his continual disapproval and disrespect, Arcann lashed out and attacked his father, but just as he was about to strike, Thexan used the Force to pull him back. Still enraptured by dark-side anger, Arcann engaged his brother in a brief lightsaber duel before landing a killing blow, after which he was immediately regretful, holding Thexan as he died. Impressed by this act of dark-side strength, Valkorion finally demonstrated approval and offered Arcann his hand. Determined to seek out those responsible for the recent invasions of their worlds, Darth Marr and a well-respected ally led a joint Republic and Imperial expedition, which succeeded in reaching Zakuul but was ultimately defeated by the Eternal Fleet. Taken captive, Darth Marr was outraged to learn Valkorion was the former Sith Emperor, refusing to kneel in submission, and instead attacked and killed several Knights of Zakuul until slain by the Emperor's Force lightning. After Vaylin cleared the room, the Emperor repeated his demand of submission to Marr's ally, only to be betrayed by Arcann, who launched an attack that ended with the death of Valkorion, though his spirit once again survived, attaching itself to Marr's ally, thereafter known as the Outlander. Yet rather than attempt to immediately possess this body, as he did with the temporary voices of the Emperor, which could not handle the full extent of his powers, and were quickly corrupted and consumed by his dark side energy, the Emperor instead sought to repeat what he did with Valkorion to create a more permanent, long-term host by living inside the Outlander's mind for a time, keeping the hero physically strong and capable, while gradually manipulating and diminishing their internal confidence, hollowing out their mind with the aim of eventually taking full control over a body that might last for centuries. Blaming the Outlander for the assassination, Arcann sat the Eternal Throne and announced the death of his father to the population of Zakuul, promising swift vengeance by conquering the Republic and Sith Empire. Sensing that Valkorion's spirit still lived, Arcann did not kill his enemy, fearing his father's spirit would simply depart and inhabit another vessel, and so instead froze the Outlander in carbonite, thereby imprisoning them both. With the support of his sister Vaylin, Arcann ruled as Emperor for the next 5 years, quickly conquering both the Republic and Sith, after which he imposed strict military limitations to prevent rebellion while extracting resources from the former superpowers that cemented Zakuul as the greatest realm in the galaxy. But everything changed when an old Sith ally, Lana Beniko, led a rescue mission to free the Outlander, escaping into the wilds of Zakuul, where they discovered the Gravestone, an ancient, highly advanced ship capable of defeating the Eternal Fleet. Repairing the Gravestone, the Outlander started gathering allies to oppose Arcann, including his mother, Senya Terrell, while at the same time the former Emperor's weakened spirit offered advice and shared what remained of his powers in a sincere effort to see his son dethroned. Learning the escaped prisoner was at the Asylum Skyport, the Eternal Empire attacked, resulting in the Battle of Asylum, where the Outlander defeated Arcann and Senya bested Vaylin, allowing them to escape on the Gravestone, though both children of Valkorion survived. Finding the planet Odessen, the Outlander settled a base of operations for the Eternal Alliance, recruiting civilian workers, warriors, and Force users from both the Republic and Sith Empire. Ready to test the Alliance commander's abilities, the spirit of the Emperor became confrontational and expressed disappointment before pretending to depart, but in truth was simply waiting for this body to prove its worth as a host. Facing betrayal from within their own ranks, the artificial intelligence Scorpio, which posed as an ally to the Outlander, eventually set her own plan into motion, revealing the location of Odessen to Arcann, who attacked with a segment of the Eternal Fleet. Scorpio then informed the Outlander, granting time to prepare, in the hope both sides would destroy each other. Engaging in the Battle of Odessen, the Outlander again defeated Arcann and left him to die, only for Senya to rescue her son's unconscious body. She also offered to take Vaylin, but her daughter refused and launched an attack which was foiled by Arcann, who awoke and protected his mother. Angered by the betrayal of her brother, Vaylin escaped on her own, while the Outlander allowed Senya to take Arcann into exile, where he might recover and be redeemed. Victorious in the Battle of Odessen, many were now eager to join the Eternal Alliance, while the Emperor's spirit returned, announcing the Outlander was ready. Returning to Zakuul, Vaylin found Scorpio on the Eternal Throne, but the artificial intelligence explained she did not seek to rule, and merely wanted to liberate the Gemini ship captains of the Eternal Fleet, granting them free will to do as they pleased. Some of these captains then departed to pursue their own ambitions, while many others stayed behind, eager to serve under Scorpio, who they considered the great mother of their kind. Thus, Scorpio offered the throne to Vaylin and remained by her side as an advisor and fleet commander. Although Arcann was dethroned, the Outlander next worked to defeat Vaylin, beginning with a journey to Iokath, where they learned Scorpio merged herself with a worldwide supercomputer, while the new Empress was able to reprogram the Gemini droids, removing their freedom to become slaves of her will. The Alliance then infiltrated a grand festival to honor Vaylin on Zakuul, where the Outlander publicly exposed her greatest weakness by saying "kneel" before the Dragon of Zakuul, a phrase programmed into her mind during her childhood conditioning on Nathema, which immediately sapped her powers and strength. Arcann then appeared, revealing he was reformed and now on the side of the commander, causing Vaylin to seek their destruction by ordering the Eternal Fleet to attack her own palace, which failed to kill her enemies but succeeded in massacring her own people, turning the population against her. Fleeing Zakuul, Vaylin traveled to Nathema, where she could have this conditioning removed, and so the Outlander followed, and there found the spirit of the Emperor's father, Sith Lord Dromath, imprisoned within a holocron. Offering to help defeat his hated son, the Outlander left with the holocron, again following Vaylin, who was now free of her conditioning and en route to attack Odessen. Finally facing off against the self-proclaimed Empress, the Alliance commander proved victorious and killed Vaylin, which then had the unforeseen consequence of resetting the Eternal Fleet, which targeted the populations of Zakuul, Coruscant, and Dromund Kaas. To stop this rampage of destruction, the Outlander traveled to Zakuul and sat upon the Eternal Throne, creating the perfect opportunity for the Emperor's spirit to attack and seek full control of this host body, so he might retake his place as ruler of the Eternal Empire. While loyal companions defended the commander's body from attacking skytroopers, the Outlander fought an internal battle against the Emperor, using the holocron to bring forth Lord Dromath's spirit, who sacrificed himself to weaken his son and break through his armor. The Outlander was then joined by the spirits of Arcann and Vaylin, who helped fight their father, but the true turning point came upon the realization this was all taking place in the commander's mind, which meant the battlefield could be reshaped to grant them an advantage. Making the Emperor susceptible to the conditioning originally placed on Vaylin, the Outlander proclaimed, "Kneel before the Dragon of Zakuul," which sapped their enemy of his powers. The spirit of Senya Terrell then appeared to land a mighty blow against her former husband, leaving him vulnerable to a final attack by the Alliance commander that at long last defeated and destroyed the Emperor's spirit, releasing a burst of dark side energy that awoke the Outlander in the throne room of Zakuul, where they now had the option to become the new Emperor, after which they made a galaxy-wide announcement declaring the age of the Eternal Alliance. Yet even after all the Outlander went through to destroy the Emperor, the threat of his continued existence persisted thanks to the survival of his original body. However, the Jedi Kira Carson and Sith Lord Scourge were aware of this, and so tracked down and destroyed his body, ending the chance for his spirit to be reborn. But what they did not realize was that still another contingency was in place, as the body of Tenebrae was covered in markings related to a dark side ritual, which upon its destruction released a plague, infecting and linking the minds of those in proximity, allowing an echo of the Emperor's spirit to live on within their collective consciousness. The first victims of this plague were Scourge and Carson, followed by Satele Shan and her followers who led a rescue mission to save them. Thus, in 3626 BBY, the Alliance commander learned of what occurred and again set off to defeat this last remnant of the enemy's spirit, entering into the mind of the former Jedi Grand Master, where he faced the Emperor in his final form, appearing as Tenebrae, Vitiate, and Valkorion, the three most prominent bodies held throughout his 1,000-year life. Prepared to make his final stand, the Emperor soon learned the commander was not alone, as he was joined by the spirits of Kira Carson, Scourge, Satele Shan, Darth Marr, Mitra Surik, and many other Force users who'd fallen victim to his evil, including the former Jedi and Sith Lord Revan, who helped destroy this last vestige of his being. Having survived for nearly 1,500 years, the Sith Dark Lord Vitiate, also known as the Emperor, was at last defeated, forced to face his own death, which had always been his greatest fear and what motivated everything he did throughout his long life. And while he ultimately failed to live forever, Vitiate was, for a time, worshipped as a god by two massive empires, and came closer than any Sith in history to achieve the dream of immortality, securing a legacy that lasted thousands of years, with future Dark Lords like Darth Plagueis still admiring his accomplishments. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Captain Marvel, DMB MSC, Pete J. King, Daedry Dragonswit, and Lady J. Booknerd. If you'd like to help the channel, be sure to give a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and click on the links below, or else go to patreon.com/civilizationx, where you can gain early access to videos, vote on future content, and watch the Patreon-only series, Heroes of Lore and Legend.